Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that I don't usually talk about. End of times. Is the world going to end? Are we nearing the end? Well, I have some empirical data to present to you, to share with you. And it seems like in 2040, just 17, 18 years ago from now, our society will come to an end. So let's dive into this. Let's look into this. Bismillah. Okay, guys, I am not going to venture into eschatology. Better leave the field for the specialized. Better leave the field of eschatology for people who specialize in the field of eschatology. What I'm going to show you is empirical data by leading universities of the world today that tell you and show you the data which tells you and shows you that the society that we know it, as we know it today, right now that we are talking to each other, is going to come to an end within, 17, 18 years? So check this out, guys. This is a model which MIT students came up with. It is called a World3 model. The World3 model is a system dynamics model for computer simulation of interactions between population, industrial growth, food production, and limits in the ecosystems of the earth. It was originally produced and used by a Club of Rome study that produced the model and the book The Limits of Growth. The creators of the model were Dennis Meadows, project manager, and a team of 16 researchers. This was originally by MIT. MIT predicted in 1972 that society will collapse this century. New research shows we are on schedule. A 1972 MIT study predicted that rapid economic growth would lead to societal collapse in the mid-21st century. A new paper shows we are unfortunately right on schedule. A remarkable new study by a director at one of the largest accounting firms in the world has found that a famous decades-old warning from MIT about the risk of industrial civilization collapsing appears to be accurate based on new empirical data. I'm not talking about eschatology. I'm not talking about biblical references or references in hadith about end of times. I'm concentrating in this podcast, I'm concentrating on empirical evidence. As the world looks forward to a rebound in economic growth following the devastation wrought by the pandemic, the research raises urgent questions about the risks of attempting to simply return to pre-pandemic normal. In 1972, a team of MIT scientists got together to study the risks of civilizational collapse. Their system dynamic model, published by the Club of Rome, identified impeding limits to growth that meant industrial civilization was on track to collapse sometime within the 21st century due to over-exploitation of planetary resources. Very important, due to over-exploitation of planetary resources. The controversial MIT analysis gathered heated debate and was widely derided at the time by pundits who misrepresented its figures and its findings and methods. But the analysis has now received stunning vindication from a study written by a senior director at professional services giant KPMG, one of the big four accounting firms as measured by global revenue. The study was published in Yale Journal of Industrial Ecology. Guys, this doesn't get any better than this. Okay, if you're looking for a scholarly article, if it is published by Yale, it is at the highest level. Is available on the. It concludes that the current business as usual trajectory of global civilization is heading toward the terminal decline of economic growth within the coming decade, and at worst could trigger societal collapse by around 2040. There are multiple factors that have contributed to this, multiple factors. Back in 1972, nobody predicted that we will have COVID-19 the way we had it. I mean, people often cite, people come to me and cite, oh, but Bill Gates said it. Bill Gates didn't say that a calamity of this magnitude would happen. Yes, people were saying, after Ebola, people were saying that there's going to be another outbreak, there is going to be another outbreak, but nobody predicted that it was going to be on this scale. It was going to be like this, the way it happened. So that's the first factor, that's the first thing that happened. The second thing, Russia-Ukraine war. It is triggering a global food crisis. And trust me, this is no joke. Russia and Ukraine export nearly a third of the world's wheat and barley and more than 70% of its sunflower oil. Now, this is from Guardian. Marching towards starvation. UN warns of hell on earth if Ukraine war goes on. Unprecedented food shortages could spark riots in dozens of countries as Black Sea blockade adds to pressure, says WFP chief. And this is going to get worse. If things are going to stay the way they are, even for next 6 months, you're going to see such a famine in the world that you have no idea. It's going to touch everyone. People used to think, oh, climate change isn't going to touch us. Now climate change is touching you as well. It's touched everybody. People sit in their homes like us and think, oh, it's not going to touch us. We're not going to experience famine ever. It's going to touch you. It's going to touch us. It's going to touch everyone within 6 to 8 months. Read into these articles. Do a search for yourself. Make up your own mind. Now, I am a Pakistani. I live in Pakistan. Pakistan is going to have a water crisis. Allah forbid. Oh, this is this is something that everybody in my country is asleep about. In 2025, Pakistan may face an acute water crisis. Pakistan could run dry by 2025 as its water shortage is reaching an alarming level. The authorities remain negligent about the crisis that's posing a serious threat to the country's stability, reports Shahmir Baloch. And this is partially due to the Indus Treaty that we had with India. But it's bad. It's pretty bad, really. It is something that we shouldn't take lightly. But we are taking it lightly, and I'm just fearful for my younger generation. What are they going to do with the famine and drought? And really, once this hits you, people who've been living in Karachi, for example, they know a little about this kind of a crisis. But really, it's going to get worse. Global warming. Long-term heating of Earth's surface observed since the pre-industrial period due to human activities, primarily fossil fuel burning, which increases heat, trapping greenhouse gas levels in Earth's atmosphere. This term is not interchangeable with the term climate change. So global warming and climate change, both are happening. Urgent action required to deal with increasing risks. Effects of global warming, causes and effects of climate change. The planet is warming from North Pole to South Pole. And there is no stopping it unless we change our industrial way. I'm not going to waste your time by just reading these articles.
Activities, from pollution to overpopulation are
Huh.
driving up the Earth's temperature.
Okay. So I'm not going to go into reading these articles and waste anyone's time. You can look into these articles yourselves. The globe is heating. The world is facing climate change, and it's devastating. It's going to wreak havoc in the coming years. The economic system is going to collapse. It is going to cause the collapse of the societal system as we know it today, and all of this is going to happen within 20 years from now. So really, the world is coming to an end. And if you're not able to open your eyes about it, you're really living under a rock. You're naive. So open your eyes, think about these issues. As Muslims, we should be aware of the end game. We should be aware of this final shove and push by the Western civilization to establish its hegemony once and for all. And again, I'm not drawing upon eschatology. I'm drawing heavily upon Noam Chomsky's work. This is the New World Order. This is the end game for the New World Order. And really, I'm presenting you with empirical evidence and empirical data. You can look at it. You can look at the World3 model. You can look at the research by MIT and by Yale and make up your own mind, really. But beware, within 18 to 20 years, the world as you know it today is going to end. That's it. It's gone. Gone, baby. Gone. Think about it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.